Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. That was a little pause there, but I was just trying to type in a little bit there for sharing the show on X, so definitely get out there and do that. Welcome, of course. We got a lot on. There's a lot happening on X for PulseChain and for crypto. I think they got the Hex conference on right now. We're going to talk about that, of course. There's a lot of stuff on right now, so pretty awesome. Don't forget to share the show around, though. We've got a huge show lined up, a show full of alpha drops just all the way around crypto and PulseChain. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to give a Taurus update, and we're going to be obviously going to cover Unity day one. Can you believe it? Unity day one, and the results are outstanding. So big shout out to Crypto Graphics, absolutely crushing it. And man, the buy and burn. We're going to get into all the details of PulseX buy and burn from Unity, and of course, probably more importantly for those going in is the ROIs, and of course the high staking yield optimism there. So we're going to be getting into all that. Pretty exciting stuff. We're also going to be covering Rackham Rishel, his roadmap, his countdown, of course, to all his protocols launching. I don't know. I think there's at least 5, if not 6 protocols, certainly 5. And we've got a countdown at least to maybe 1 or 2 of them launching in a countdown, which I'll get to. I don't want to front run it too much, but that is coming up. So we've got a lot to talk about, guys. A lot to talk about. Yeah, there's the Hex conference on that right now. I think there is. It runs for several days. There's lots of X spaces on right now. So it's the PulseChain community really starting to wake up and really starting to get that inflection point moving in to our bull run. And I think the countdown is getting very close to Richard Hart's marketing. And of course, the interest rate cuts, the pressure's on. We've got the Jackson Hole, of course, results expected later this week. So we're going to have a good indication of that final seal of approval for altcoin season, although I don't really think we will need it ultimately because we've got these mega things about the big strategic ETH reserve. So we're going to get into all that. It's a huge amount of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and we're going to have a fun time today. So let's see who's in the house there. We got DG and Hex in the house there. Love me some Superman. I appreciate that, DG, and big shout out. And of course, don't forget to share the show there on X as well. It just takes a moment to hit that repost button, and of course, leave the likes and comments if you want to do that too. We got Sean O'Malley in the house there. Big shout out to Sean O'Malley. Looking good. And I hope you guys have been enjoying everything that's going on with PulseChain. Sean, I know that you're well, getting yourself well positioned as well. So big shout out there, Sean. We got Wookie in the spot, up the wires. Woohoo! Even the wires hold Unity, says Wookie. Yeah, so Wookie there, who's normally the Taurus Slayer, was on the show last night. We had a great show. If you haven't checked that show out last night, we did a second show, and boy, it was a lot of fun. We covered Taurus, we covered Unity. We did a really pretty comprehensive overview. I think it was pretty awesome. So if you haven't checked it out, we had a great chat about Unity and Taurus and went through a lot of the basics. So definitely check that out. And also we ended up talking about PUSD algo as well. And some of our, so at least some of my theories, I don't know about Wookiees, but some of my theories about the PUSD algo, where that's going. And we're excited. And of course, they're trying to get little sneak peeks for what they've got on that roadmap from Jacob. So, slowly and surely, hopefully we'll get there. It's pretty awesome. Oh, there's Taurus. There's Wookie, the Taurus Slayer. Hit them likes and post it out. Absolutely do that, guys. Get out there, folks. As you guys know, one of the two big channels on PulseChain community doing daily shows. And the other one, of course, is Crypto Paradise. So big shout out to that team. Of course, Nate, Amaru, and Nick. They do an amazing job, and it's great to have them streaming, every day. And, as we move into the bull market, we should get more and more of the big streamers coming back, more and more of the streamers doing closer to daily shows, maybe every couple of days. It's going to be really exciting to see that. So, and excited about that bull run. It's going to get crazy. We're going to get a lot of new streamers as well. We're already seeing a few of those. Starting small, but potentially we're going to have some breakout ones on the way. A lot of fun there. We got Trini Bitcoin, big all up. Hey, a big up all, I should say. A big shout out there. Welcome to the chat. Great to see you as well. yeah, so don't forget to share it out. Let's get straight into it, shall we? And without further ado, we're also going to talk about the monster thread later on as well. So that is out. That's only been out for about 2 days. So talk about that as well. All right, let's get into the show. We're going to start off in the right place. So let me have a look at the stock market first. We're going to quickly go through that. And so let's bring that up right now. All right, getting excited, guys. Stocks fall as investors rotate out of tech into the Jackson Hole. It's a weird title, but Jackson Hole coming up there. Of course, Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed, speaking. And, of course, the Dow at the moment pretty much up 10 points to 4,920. But the S&P 500 was down 37 points, so about 0.6% to 6,400. And then the NASDAQ there down 1.5%, 314 points to 21,300. So, yeah, quite a little move there in the old NASDAQ with all the tech companies. US dollar is up slightly to 98.14. And, of course, the commodities there, we've got West Texas at $62, up 36 cents. Brent oil pretty flat there from the looks of it, $66. We've got gold at the moment up 27 cents to $3,358. And silver up a fraction there to $37.34. So those are the markets and commodities. That's where they are right now. And, of course, we've got a little bit of rotation after the big run up in tech stocks, right? We had a great earnings season. So it's kind of where we are right now. And yeah, so please don't spam the chat there. Yaz. So yeah, just said there's a couple of posts. I'm not sure why you got double posts up there. But anyway, what else there? We got Jackson Hole looms. Okay, so we got that coming up there for Federal Reserve Jackson Hole Symposium later in the week. Looking for clues from Jerome Powell there. So obviously we've had some, enough indicators around the softer market, labor market, and of course the inflation rate itself. So hopefully there's a lot of pressure now, 83% on the interest rate cut. So hopefully we'll see that coming up on the 17th of September. So that's why I say we may only have, between a week and 4 weeks or 5 weeks to go before things really start to take off into that banana part of the curve for the end of the year. So it's kind of the play there. Obviously, we also had the European leaders, along with Zelensky at the White House. Trump there pushing forward aggressively towards a peace deal to end peace, to get peace. And, of course, he's already ended 7 wars. Can you believe it? 7 wars, a lot many of them long term. And, he took him to do it, right? So fantastic. World full of peace. And, of course, he was, it's always the opposite, right? You always know people by their fruits. And 7 unbelievable settlements of peace in the world. Unbelievable. Really is crazy what he's managed to achieve there. And so if we can get peace here, it would be fantastic. So that's kind of where we are right now. And, of course, we've got more earnings seasons coming out next week, particularly for NVIDIA, right? So NVIDIA next week. And that's going to be a big mover, of course, the most valuable company in the world. So we keep a lookout for that. So that's some of the key stuff there. Let's go to the Federal Rate Monitor before we move on to crypto. And we got 4 weeks and 18 hours to go to the 17th of September. And we've got an 84.4% expectation from the market of a 25 basis rate point cut. I think that's what we should get at the least. We probably should get 50 basis point or more, actually, probably 75 in my view. But, 50 is a nice little move. And we've got a couple other periods during the year. We've got October and December. We could get rate cuts as well. So October, we got 48% expecting another 25 basis points that would get us to 50. And then on December, there we've got, not the majority, but we've got a third of the people expecting another 25 basis points. So that would get us to 75 basis point cut, which I think is way too slow. But it is what it is. We've got a politicized Federal Reserve, haven't we? So it needs to be gutted. That's pretty much it. All right. So that is kind of where we are right now. So we're going to get into crypto. Before we do that, let's catch up in the chat there with a couple more comments. I'm going to read this one before I post it. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So breaking news, President Trump gave the good news that interest rates will decrease in September. The rally is starting, run to crypto. Well, he doesn't control it, but he's putting a lot of pressure on that outcome. So, yeah, very bullish indeed if that does come. I'm not sure you got a double post there, but anyway, great. Welcome to the chat. All right, so let's get into the rest of it. So we're going to go into crypto now. Don't forget to repost the show, of course. The handle is up the top here. Share the show around on X. Get out there, folks. All right, so let's jump over to these crypto markets and see where we're holding there. obviously we've got a bit of a retrace right now, and this is generally a good thing, right? So we've had that big run, and we're coming back, testing some support, and then getting ready for the next move, right? So these waves until we start getting into the banana wave. Like I say, maybe within 4 weeks or so from the interest rate cut, that's kind of the play, right? So that's expectations. So right now, the total market cap has dropped below 4 trillion. We're at 3.89 trillion. That's a 3% decrease overnight. We've got 18,228 coins, so that's been increasing, as we know. Every day we're doing updates. More coins are listing on CoinGecko. At the moment, we've got Bitcoin at 113,400, down 2.9%. And of course, a lot of people are talking about 112K being the key support level there. So people not too worried as long as it holds over 112K. And that's kind of where we are right now, 113,400, just above there, down 2.9%. So it's holding up okay at the moment in our consolidation phase for moving up to that 130, 140 mark. And of course, we recently got to 124,000, and it was exciting to see that happen live on the show, which was pretty cool. Ethereum right now 4,150, and this is down 5.3%. Now I'm going to talk about the Ethereum price coming up when we talk about the strategic ETH reserves. So just remember that we're at 41.50 right now on the old ETH price there. XRP is down 6.3% at $2.90. We've got BNB at number 5, down 2.5%, $836. We've got Silent at number 6, down 3.2%, $179. And then we've got Lido. So let's jump past Lido. We've got Tron there at number 9, down 0.5% at 35 cents. And then Doge there at number 10, down 5.5% there at 21.3 cents. And there is it's a decent gap still between Cardano and Doge there based on the market cap. That is where we are right now. So the best performer over the last 24 hours is essentially, looks like Tron, actually. Tron is the best performer, only down 0.5%. So there we go. Worst performer is, of course, XRP, down 6.3%. The last week, the best performer is essentially BNB. It is up 0.6%, the only green one in the green. And then, of course, the worst performer at the moment has been XRP, down 11.6% and 6.3% today. So today hasn't been a great day for XRP. Now, what else we've got going on here? We're going to have a look at the top 100. And at the moment, we can see the top 100, the best performer is OKB. It's been a top performer recently, along with Mantle as well. That's up 32%. Leo Coin has popped into the top 5, and that's up 6% there, sitting at number 25. Monero there is up 4% at number 37, and Arbitrum there is up 2.5% at number 53. So not a lot of big gainers there, with the exceptions of OKB and Mantle at the moment in the top 100. Let's have a look at the top 1,000 gainers. We've got WikiCat, we've got Light, and we've got API3 or API3. You can say it there's many ways, right? E's and I's always get said different ways. We got WikiCat. Let's have a quick look at that in the top 1,000. It's up 236%, and it is sitting at number 305, and it just got blown out of nowhere. So only it's been around for a couple of years, since June 2021, so after the bull market essentially, but it just got pumped into glory. It was at how many zeros? That like 8 zeros, I think, 28. It is now at 6 zeros, 41. So that got pumped massively, and this is on the BSC chain, and it's WikiCat coin. So it looks like a meme coin. Let's have a quick look at it and zoom in on this, see what's happening here. What is WikiCat? There it is. How to buy. So yeah, it looks like pretty much a meme coin. It's a digital currency on the internet. There we go. And fair launch, it says liquidity tokenomics. So that got big pumped, and we got cats being pumped. We've had a lot of frogs lately, haven't you noticed that? Frogs, dogs, but not so much cats. So yeah, I guess it's cat's turn, right? You either like cats or not, but the cats are on the move today in the top 1,000, and there's a nice little candle there. Let me know if any random chance that any of you got into that. Let me know. We got API3 there, so we've had Electronium's jumped in there. OMG, come on, we're going to talk about that quickly. So API3 there, so this switches around sometimes when we're coming back and forth. But API3 there has been around since November 2020, so this is really OG there as well. Remember, this is November. This is around Big Payday. Around Big Payday for Hex. So yeah, just after that 30th of November, it launched. So just after Hex Big Payday, about 10 days later or something. And it's had a pretty rough ride, and it's just come off the bottom now today at 72 cents, and it's now at $1.36. So nice little reprieve there, sitting at number 351. So both of these are around 300 marks, and it's on the Ethereum chain there. Let's have a look at API3 there. Oracles that pay you receive OEV rewards on Oracle there. Let's jump over to the final one, which is, let's see if Electronium is still there. It is still there. That's hilarious. And there we are, up 33%. So let's have a look at Electronium. Obviously, we've had Pi Network recently. These are two of, I guess, the big so-called giants from 2019, 2018, maybe even, that did the phone mining apps. And of course, we have new ones out now, far more sophisticated in terms of AI and stuff like that. But Electronium is number 635. That is sitting at 39 hundredths of a penny. But it's pretty weird that it's kind of it's obviously so max period. It's down 91%, but it had quite the ride there. It started all the way back here, November the 8th, 2017. You guys feeling this? I said 2018, 2019, but it's actually older than that. To November the 8th, 2017, and it had a ride all the way up here to over 20 cents, and it's never seen that light of day again. And it's been just coming off the bottom at 15 hundredths of a penny. And it's just had a bit of a pop at the moment. So it's up from 1,500 to 2,700 of a penny Electronium. So let me know in the chat there if you guys have been, were ever mining on their phone Electronium there. There were millions of people doing it, right? Market cap, 70 million. And even though it had a very sophisticated, very suave CEO in the UK, hashtag fail strategy, did not play out. And they did a lot of silly things, to be honest, with the Electronium. But there we go. It's on the top 1,000 trending today. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Top gainers. So trending right now, WikiCat, Bitcoin, and Aerodrome Finance all trending. So that's pretty much it for crypto. Down 3.1% today, 3.87 trillion. Bitcoin's sitting just under, it's even gone lower than when we had it. So as long as it kind of stays over 112, I guess we're okay. We won't need to talk about it too much. But Ethereum there is also down further too, down 5.1%. It's now gone from 41.50 down to 40.91 on the Ethereum, and we're going to talk about that because it's right in a very special zone right now. So we're going to talk about that coming up now. That doesn't take long. All right, so we've got the strategic ETH reserve, and we've seen some big moves in here, haven't we? Some big moves. And of course, the other day, what did we see? We saw BitMine immersion, and this is Tom Lee, of course, the famed CNBC contributor, and of course, head of BitMine, and he has 373,000 Ethereum was purchased on the August the 8th, at least, disclosed on August the 18th. And here we are at the moment. It's at the top of the leaderboard here. 1.5 million Ethereum now held, which is incredible, right? Incredible. And let's just sit on that. We've got currently worth at $6.3 million. That's even with ETH coming down towards 4,000 after the rally to 4,800. And we've got the market cap there sitting at 8.64 billion. The MNAV, which is probably out of date, this one, 1.25, which is still very good premium, but out of date there. And with the last price just coming back in price, obviously, with Ethereum at $49.78. So this is sort of things. Remember, Treasuries, he's playing the long game with Treasuries with Tom Lee. 10 years, he's really looking to get 6 million coins, which is 5% of the supply. He calls it a sovereign put, of course. Now, when you think about going, if you want to get a leverage on Ethereum rather than holding Ethereum, and you want to get a premium, you want to get the MNAV premium in the market price, then generally you're going to go into these entities on the stock market, right? Like BMNR, which is Bitmine Immersion. That's kind of the place. So on the front part of the cycle, into the middle cycle, you go into this, you're going to get the leverage play, right? The X's on X's. But towards the end of the cycle, you probably want to exit out, right? Because you're going to get the opposite play, arguably, depending on where the price is relative to that in the future. But people have got some pretty big price tags on, of course, Bitmine Immersion. Obviously, 300-400 is kind of the expected amount. Some people calling $1,000. Some people calling $6,000 per share. Obviously, we know it's going to be up and to the right because we are so super early in the cycle. We're at the very beginning of potentially a 10-year rally on Ethereum, right? So this is very, very, very early at the moment. So yeah, if you feel like you were late because you missed out on the 4,800 run and it's gone now down to 4,000, you're not late, see? It's just early times. So that's kind of played right now. Let's check out some of the details there. So Bitmine Immersion put out this little release. So we got Bitmine today announced ETH holdings of 1,523,000 tokens. ETH holdings of that is valued at 6.6 billion, as we said. I picked up 373,000 more ETH than a week ago. And we did say that we're probably going to see weekly pickups of this ETH because they are moving quite fast. Now, they are moving fast, but they also want to get a good price. Tom Lee says, we would rather the price in ETH just stay flat for 5 years so that we can accumulate our 6 million. That's really want a low base, so they want that big upside for the risk reward, right? They want the big upside. The lower your price you get it, the more X's that are in the game, and of course they want to pick up 6 million. It's going to be very hard for them to do, and that's probably why he's given such a decent forecast for Ethereum by the end of the year, including the rest of the cycle that's in play for $15,000 to $16,000, right? And then much more beyond that into 2026, depending on where you think the top of the cycle is going to be. So pretty exciting there. We got obviously an update here. BitMine is the second largest crypto treasury in the world, behind that's MSTR, so that is the Bitcoin strategy, right, from Michael Saylor. Notice the 2 of the 6 largest crypto treasuries are ETH holders as well. So you got Mr. there, and then you got BMNR, then you got Mara and CEP and BSTR there. So, and then you got SBET there sitting at number 6 there as well. So you can see a very big deal there. The alchemy of 5%, as of course Tom Lee calls it, and of course the BMNR there quickly rose to rank number 3 by that size, and of course sitting at number 2 now. So pretty awesome, right? That's Fund Strat, of course, Tom Lee's Fund Strat. Now, obviously, they also have BitMine also benefits from being a highly liquid stock. BitMine ranks number 10 among the 5,700 US listed traded stocks. Just think about that for a minute. That's a big deal. Why is the MNAV that premium? So if you think about the value, you're holding assets. You minus the liabilities off it, you divide it by the amount of fully diluted shares you got, arguably. That would give you your NAV, your net asset value, right? That's the baseline of value. Now, if you were holding no liabilities, it's basically your asset value, right? And of course, you would just have your holdings of ETH. Just like if you were holding it privately, that would be your NAV, right? Your NAV would just be the amount of ETH you're holding and the value that it's worth. And then maybe instead, what these guys are doing is, because they're listing on the stock market, they're now pricing like the stock market. And so they're doing a multiplier. And of course, how they get that, they do that on the MNAV, right? So the MNAV includes that multiplier, and that would be basically because Ethereum, you can stake it, right? And you're in income, they're going to add a multiplier on that income, maybe 20x, 25x, like you see in the stock market, right, for future revenue. And then, of course, on top of that, they added, the amount of liquidity and stuff they're doing, and of course the turnover there as well. And because BMNR is so high, you're going to get a high MNAV, therefore you're going to get a high premium. And so now you got the NAV times the MNAV. That's going to give you an estimated or theoretical price, which the market price should, a plus or minus, go move around that or oscillate around that. That's kind of the basic idea here. So because BitMine is such a big player with a highly liquid stock, they get a high MNAV, high premium. And so it's just a win-win for them. It's really magic money. And of course, BMN trades at $6.4 billion daily. And of course, BMR trades more daily than JP Morgan, JPM, and of course, ranked 27. BMNR trading volume is just ahead of Alphabet and Google. Just shows you, the Magnificent Seven on the stock market, and these guys are ahead of that in trade volume. It is pretty mind-boggling if you think about it. You can see all the big players here. Look at that. Tesla at the top, NVIDIA, Apple, all these ones all the way down. Amazon, all the top ones that you're well familiar with, Meta, etc. And then number 10 is BitMine Immersion. Can you believe it? And it is sitting there. Look at that. Wow. 5-day average daily volume, $6.5 billion there. Incredible stuff, right? And the market cap is relatively small compared to these juggernauts. You've got Tesla up here at $1 trillion, NVIDIA at 4.4 trillion, Apple at 3.4, and down here you've got BitMine Immersion at $10 billion. So it is really weird, right? Really weird. But that is a huge premium add to BitMine there. So huge, right? Huge. And number 4 there, we've got JP Morgan, Tom Lee, Fundstrat said the Genius Act and SEC. So some of the catalysts basically for why they are going into Ethereum, why they are so bullish, why they're moving so fast, why they're moving so big. It is huge, right? So the Genius Act and SEC's crypto project is transformational to finance services in 2025 as the US action on August 15th, 1971, ending Bretton Woods and, of course, the US on the gold standard 54 years ago. So it's a pretty big statement. This 1971 event was a catalyst for the modernization of Wall Street, creating the iconic Wall Street titans and financial and payment rails of today. These proved to be better investments than gold. And, of course, that's what they consider Ethereum to be, right? The Genius Act with stablecoins, going to be a stablecoin boom. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has talked about something like $4 trillion worth on the old Ethereum, or at least in crypto generally. But as we know, that a good 90% plus of it is on Ethereum, right? So there's about $285 billion worth of stablecoins on Ethereum. On crypto generally, and about 272 billion is on Ethereum. So the vast majority, well in excess of 90%, 95% probably is in the old Ethereum. So Circle, Tether, and these are the big winners, right? So what are they Circle backed by? Circle's backed by treasuries, by repos, right, and by cash. So US dollar backed is huge, and of course it's also going to help underpin the strength of the US dollar moving forward, right, as the world's reserve currency. So a lot of ramifications, and of course Ethereum is the principal beneficiary. On top of that, of course, we're also already seeing the tokenization with this SEC's project crypto. Obviously, a lot of new rules and regulations around things like that, and we're going to see the enabling of stock market companies to be tokenized over on crypto, particularly benefiting, of course, Ethereum, because the market wants a robust chain, right, like Ethereum, that's a kind of a proven. And of course, what is a full system state copy of Ethereum? PulseChain, right? So there is a lot of opportunity for PulseChain to ride on the back of these themes. Of course, it's going to take very well-connected and smart people, well-funded people to probably execute some of these similar themes on the PulseChain, but it's definitely there. And we've probably got a few candidates that we probably know of that may have the ability and networks to do that. And Rackham Rishel probably would be one of them. Richard Hart probably as well to some degree, depending on his connections, what you think how big his connections are, all that sort of stuff. And of course, maybe the interconnectedness between all these groups with back channels and the likes, which have kind of been teased out by some of these people, right? So it's going to be pretty interesting. We obviously got the SEC there, and that's going to the tokenization of the stock market. We already see that we've already got a huge corporate on PulseChain that is already front running this whole move, and that is Signum. Of course, the rising food giant in Europe, which has a very unique product. So it's not really able to be competed out because it is so unique, and of course, over 10 years development and all that sort of stuff. And we've talked about that, and they want to be like Bitcoin. They want to be as valuable as Bitcoin, and they're going to do that by buying back 20% of their net sales, right? So as their sales grow, they'll be able to buy more and more back of their token. So it's still early days, but that's what we're expecting to see. And so it's going to be pretty fun to see Signum launch. And of course, the Floyn listing, their weekly update a couple of days ago, they had the Floyn CEO there, and so that's getting very close. Floyn is really a premium, swapping platform really for investors. And they have a big roadmap to really dominate that space. So it's going to be huge for PulseChain and something that not a lot of people are not even thinking about, but it's going to be big. So SEC's project, of course, tokenization. We're also going to have payment systems as a big theme as well. Obviously, making a lot of payments on the chain, and we know that that's going to be a huge deal, particularly benefiting payment systems like XRP as well. So other chains will also bet on some of these mega narratives this season. So yeah, pretty huge. A lot of ramifications there. So that is from BitMine. I think we had one more update here. The company strategy of BitMine is detailed in their investor page relations, which is pretty exciting. So I'm going to post this in the chat there if you guys want to check it out in more detail. Maybe look at the full strategic investor there. But this is BitMine purchase, which is mega. And this is mega. We are well on the way there towards 6 million coins. And man, is it happening fast, right? It's happening so fast there. On the old BitMine. So that is there. Bam, bam, bam. And of course, it's going to pump all your bags, right? It's going to pump all your bags. All right, so we've got a few more people in the chat here before we move on to the next one. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Q Baller, morning all. A big shout out there. Taurus Slayer up the Storm and Unity. Yeah, absolutely. Storm Wars final, it says Wookie. What else there? The Knights. Yeah, the Knights at the bottom of the table there with the old spoon. You were really trying to get Brennan there in the chat there. I'm sure you're going to pull him out of the fridge. Wookie likes cats, says Wookie. Unity is on a run. Yeah, we're going to get to Unity chart. That's coming up at the our last topic, I think, is Unity. Chart up and to the right, absolutely. Frank White in house there. Bang, bang. PulseChain gang. Big shout out there, Frank White. Welcome to the chat there as well. And yeah, that is awesome. So let's get into the rest of it. We've got a fun topics coming up. So let's go back into strategic ETH reserve. Obviously, that's huge for BitMine immersion, up to 1.5 million. And let's have a look at the market share. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Look at that accumulation. Look how fast that is, guys. You're talking about the 20th of July, and they've already gone from 0 to 20th of July to the 19th of August there. So in about 5 weeks, they've gone up to 1.5 million of the supply. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy amount. 1.26% of the total Ethereum supply. There's 120.7 million, as you guys know. And of course, about 40% of it is state and protocols like Lido. So there's actually not as much Ethereum around as you think. Now, what's the other thing that we're seeing with these trend with these big ETH treasuries coming in is that we're also seeing the amount of ETH on exchanges is dropping, guys. It's dropping. What happens when things drop in supply? Yeah, the price will go back up. So even though the price is coming back now from 48 down to 44,000, this is back in the buy zone. So these guys aren't going to just buy the top of the markets all the time and push it up. They're going to run these cycles, right? So they're going to let it run to 4,800. And we've already seen Tom Lee say that he's keen to start buying again once we come back and test this 4,000 mark. So between 4,000 and 4,150. So that's the reason why I didn't talk about it earlier. But that is what Tom Lee's talked about, is that they're going to try and get it as cheap as they can, guys. But they're going to have the inevitable impact of raising prices over time, right? And of course, we're expecting that to start to really accelerate moving forward. Now, where'd they get the strategy from? Well, they're basically copying the strategy playbook from Bitcoin, right, with Michael Saylor. And of course, this is exactly what their fund manager does, right, with their Bitcoin stash. They wait for the Bitcoin price to come back, and they're just patient. They're patient guys. They're not like the retail book that wants to get in here and there. These guys they watch the charts, they do their technical analysis, and they wait for the market to pull back. Then they start buying more Bitcoin and go back in. And they don't always get it right. I mean, it's not perfect all the time, but that's what they basically do. They let it run and come back. And it's exactly what we're seeing here with this market price. So they let it run back to 4,000 after we ran from like 36, 3,700 to 48, come back to 4,000, and then they start buying again. So they're probably looking to buy right now in the market here. So we're going to have a great defense line, I would argue, at 4,000. Now, that assumes, of course, nothing else in the market happens that drives the price down, because there's also these non-market factors like geopolitics that can impact the chart even against their own forecast, right? There's kind of the gray swans, the black swan events. And of course, they'll just probably back off a little bit and let the charts pay out so they can get it cheaper and cheaper. So this is kind of the ebbs and flows of their purchasing. But ultimately, they're going to buy so much that's going to help push the price up on the markets. And we're seeing the amount of ETH on exchange disappearing. So it's going to be pretty awesome. And at some point, it'll just start to really ratchet up. So awesome stuff there. SharpeLink Gaming, of course, SBET, the second one here. And of course, 740,800 ETH now. $3 billion USD, market cap $2.5 billion. So it's actually subpar and on that. So they're below their actual USDC, unlike the BitMine, and their MNAV's lower, of course. We've got the last price at $18 on SBET there from SharpeLink. Now, what did they do? Guys, they just, on the 19th, they just disclosed that they bought another 143,600 Ethereum. It is game on, guys. It is so fast. This stuff's happening so fast, and that is awesome. And we also have an update from SharpeLink. So let's read that too. So SharpeLink here acquired 143,600 ETH at $4,648. So that's well above where we are right now, right? It's pulled back to 4,000. Maybe see, they don't have perfect foresight, right? And of course, this is SharpeLink. It's not FunStrat, right? So they don't have the high-end IQ and experience in analytics. So they're one of the best in the game. Key highlights for the week ending August the 17th there. Raised $537 million through ATM and direct offerings at 143,000 ETH. Stake rewards, they're obviously staking, right? So this is part of the MNAV and their income. 1,388 ETH since June the 2nd. And of course, these guys are all forecasting the prices to blow up, right? So this ETH that they're staking is going to be worth so much income, it's really going to add to their value, right? It's a big deal there. ETH concentration 3.87, up 94% since June the 2nd. Cash on hand 84 million yet to deploy. So obviously they'll be looking to buy at the 4K mark. And then total ETH there, 740,000, making them number 2. So absolutely amazing from SharpeLink there. And exciting times. More money there. So really cool. 100% Ethereum, all of it staked. You already know it. So there we go. Lots of cool stuff happening there with SharpeLink as well. Now I'll leave a link to this as well if you guys want to check this out. SharpeLink, and bam. Right, so that is SharpeLink link there, and it really is game on, guys. And this is happening every week now, so really it's just sucking all the it's like sucking the oxygen out of the air. I mean, it really is big deal. And this is all happening. Look, just the 19th, another disclosure of massive purchases. Absolutely fantastic. Now, so that's kind of where we are with that. And of course, you can see that at number 3 there, we've got the ETH machine with 345,000. And that's pretty excited as well. The last big corporation to actually purchase on here was ETHZilla. They've done a couple of purchases too on the 18th and the 12th, picking up another almost, 95,000 almost, ETHZilla. And we know ETHZilla is down here at number 10, and they came out of nowhere, right? They came out of nowhere, a new entrant, and bought a whole ton of ETH there, now sitting at 94,700, just below the 100,000 club. And that 100,000 club holder of Ethereum is expanding here on the Strategic ETH Reserve. which is pretty exciting, right? So we have two types. We have two types of categories here. We have all SER entities. So SER means strategic ETH reserve, and then we have the ETH treasuries, right? So this is to separate the companies that are, purpose-built acquisition vehicles, and they all have slight differences in terms of how they're playing the strategy and how they return yield. But this is the link there. We got 14 now on the list here. So that's why it's separated out. So sometimes you might see this list posted and it won't have the PulseChain on it, simply because it's a SER with Treasury, and of course PulseChain is not, right? So PulseChain here, we've got Ethereum Foundation number 4. It's going down every week. They're already selling stuff out, right? Already selling stuff out. So we're going to see them slowly drop. They've still got tons of ETH, so it will take a little while. But then we've got PulseChain Sacrifice at number 5, like a boss. And of course, Richard Hart got us in early there. Remember, we used to be ETH used to be number 1 and PulseChain number 2, and now we're at number 4 and 5 respectively. And of course, the value there of the PulseChain SAC, $688,000. Let's have a look at it on here on look into richardhart.com. This is Gerardo's site. And we can see that we're up 53.9 million. Now, you guys remember we were up when ETH was at 4,800. We were all the way up at like $140 million in the money, which is pretty spectacular. And that's just a taster, guys. That's a taster of what we're going to have towards the end of the year as Ethereum heads towards this projected, 15, 16K. It's exciting, guys. Get excited. It's going to be awesome, right? So, I can't wait. And, of course, this $682 million, if we get to 15K, Ethereum is $2.5 billion, guys. $2.5 billion, I kid you not. And, of course, how much does it take to get into the CoinGecko top list? I know about maybe 1.3 billion now. They get in the top 100 on CoinGecko. So, this is going to be twice the value of that at the moment. So, pretty awesome. And, of course, you've got to leverage things and premium things for market value. So that's just a little teaser there. And fantastic on that. And Richard Hart instigated all that, right? So kind of cool. So that is the cool stuff there. Let's jump back down a bit further. Obviously, we've got lots of treasury vehicles coming in the mix. ETHZilla, of course, the big one there. BTCS as well. BTCS is in there with 70,000. Nexus in there. Now, you guys know Nexus. We covered this the other day. So let's come back up the top here. We know that BitMine Immersion wants to get 6 million coins. They've just raised $20 billion. They've got $20 billion because they want to buy lots of Ethereum and they want to buy it as cheap as possible, but they're inevitably going to help push the price up, right? And then we've got SharpeLink as well. It's looking for $1 million at the moment. They're at 740, so they're still going to buy more. But once they get to $1 million, guys, they're going to want to get bigger and, of course, get even more. This is how it works, right? So that's their original targets. Pretty huge there. Now, obviously, we've got Nexus here. They already raised $5 billion, right? So they want to get themselves in the top 3 up here as well, right? So they want to move up here, particularly number 2 spot at the moment would be jumping past SharpeLink, although SharpeLink's going to continue to rise as well. But Nexus, you're going to see that name pump up there very, very soon, no doubt. So keep a lookout for that. That could be the next push. And of course, Ethereum's coming back to 4K. Man, they're just like going, thank you very much, because they're going to get so much more ETH for their money, right? So it's that buy low and then have it long term. These are all long term holders for the most part, and they will be changing potentially the structure of the Ethereum cycle, right? That 4-year cycle that you often hear about. It will be tested during the cycle, no doubt, from my point of view. So that's kind of the play. They're sitting at number 14. Keep a lookout for that one. And, of course, we've got many others here. Game Square down here, Ink Chains, OVD, lots of other treasury vehicles, BTC Digital, and we've got some new entrances down the bottom here, Centaurus and Cosmos as well, pending their ETH disclosure. So it's game on, guys. And at the moment, of course, along here, we've got 70 different protocols. And what are we going to see? We could potentially see some Titanx ones in here, right? So we could potentially see Titanx itself, DragonX, and of course Taurus, right? So that could be pretty exciting. Those 3 would all be able to make it on here. You need 100 ETH, and it needs to sit reasonably stable across that protocol. So that is pretty awesome. That is where we are right now. Some absolutely massive actions, as I say. BitMine Immersion, 373,000 on the 18th, and then of course SharpeLink on the 19th there. 143,000. It is game on, guys, and it just continues to ride. Look at this, just up and away. Isn't that awesome? Up and away, and look at the bubbles, looking great. Just up and away. That's just accumulation. Absolutely exciting, right? So the green there, of course, is the SIR. So look at this green there. That is the SIR there. Look at that rise. It's game on, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo! We're already up, over 3%. I think it is. It's pretty massive, right? These guys are buying. It's game on, and a lot more to come there. All right, so that is pretty much there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, 3.39% of supply now is sitting in here, and it's just going to keep going up. I'm super excited. $17 billion worth, and it's currently at 4,000. This thing is going up, up and away. You got to get excited. You got to get excited. It's awesome. Cryptographics in house from Unity and Taurus. Big shout out. Reposted stream. Hey, thanks for that. Appreciate that a lot. And yeah, crushing it. The cryptographics. Well done. We're going to get to that towards the end of the show. Frank White as well. Stay on 5 more minutes. I want to buy membership, says Frank. Hey, look, I'm going to be on for quite a bit. We've still got probably at least another 30 to 40 minutes to go. So, Frank, I started early because I thought I might end up going a bit longer since we're doing the big breakdown of the strategic ETH reserves and all the updates, which is pretty alpha bullish, right? So even though the price has come back to 4K, this is actually the buy zone for a lot of these guys. And Tom Lee has indicated that too. So, and they're basically mimicking the Michael strategy. You know, the strategy from Michael Saylor's strategy there is pretty awesome. Yeah, awesome, nice. Yeah. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's get into PulseChain, shall we? Who wants to get a bit of PulseChain now that we've covered all this? PulseChain SAC looking strong, and we can't wait for that 15K Ethereum towards the end of the year. Let's have a look at the Monster Thread. Monster Thread has been out for a couple of days. As you guys know, MVS Crypto is crushing out there as the editor-in-chief, and of course, he is doing a great job. He's obviously in X Spaces and out there promoting. And of course, we also run a professional promotions out of the Crypto Night show, publications and promotions. And of course, we're really trying to help, the community get seen, right? So some of the big projects, they always get seen, right? Everyone knows, this is what this platform, that platform. We all know the big platforms, but a lot of small, medium projects, they don't get that limelight, right? They don't get to get seen. They have some of the best tokenomics out there, some of the best protocols, but they don't really get help. So we established a pretty much a promotions to help communities, get up and get seen, and it's really taken off really well. We also find that getting teams to collaborate has been a really big deal, and getting encouraging that as well, and played a role in all that happening, and it's really exciting. We've got a very vibrant community growing around PulseChain. That's because of this collaboration. It's really bringing the magic. When people are all isolated, it really holds back the magic happening on the chain. It's really a key variable in chain success. Obviously, we know there's lots of variables that make a chain successful, but it's definitely a key one, right? So it's exciting to see all that starting to bloom there, which is really cool. So weekly Monster Thread highlights all the latest news on PulseChain over the last week. It really is amazing. We're on to week number 15. Can you believe it? 15 weeks. And it's going to be out every week. You watch. It's just one week after another. Absolutely amazing. And of course, it's pretty awesome. So I'm not going to read it through because we read it through the other day, but you've got all the latest news there. So if you're really busy, then this is a perfect place to catch up. If you want to onboard people, this is the perfect newsletter to send out. It really is PulseChain's newsletter. And of course, week number 14 hit 47,000 views. 47,000 views, guys. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, it's exciting. We're still not in the bull market yet. You can imagine how many views we're going to get when it really starts to flourish. It's going to be up and away, so it's really exciting. And of course, this covers all the hottest things, what people are doing, what DeFi is happening in DeFi, all the big influences and attention from big platforms that PulseChain's getting. It's all here, and you can see that with all the smiles from the people in the community. So it really is, a crypto and people newsletter. So get out there. It's really, really is exciting to do that. So I'm going to post this link in the chat there. Give it a good read, and of course, don't forget to send it around. Really cool. So that'll be up for all week, of course, getting attention there. So Monster Thread there, and of course 15, number 15, and so it's posted out there. Share it around, folks. This really is the way of communicating, actively communicating about all the news and cool things that are happening on PulseChain, as well as some of the hottest projects out there as well. So check it out. There we go, Monster Thread number 15 there. All right, so let's jump into some cool stuff there. We're going to get into PulseChain. And of course, PulseChain here, we've got the results, day 830. And we can see that we're on day 30 here at 830 here, probably flipping over to 831 because I'm a bit earlier than normal. And of course, we've got Pulse at quadruple 049. So we're just below the 5,000 mark. We've always been stuck around this mark. You guys know I stream every day. Just about, I take a few days every so often in the year, but not many. And here we are down 6.2% today. And we've got PulseX there at quadruple 0371, down 7.5%. We've got the buy and burn at 7.62%. Now, remember the buy and burn, we started off at about probably 7.6 when Unity launched. And so that's going to add massive fuel to the fire for the buy and burn on PulseX. and so keep a note of that percentage. It was 7.61% yesterday, but we may have been as low as slightly 7.6 when we started. So somewhere in that mark. So keep a lookout how fast that accelerates, because Unity has come to town and it is burning PulseX, baby. Boom, baby, boom. And something like a 70x ratio times the volume, it is massive impact there. So keep a lookout, and we're going to get into the results of how good it's been in the first day. It is mind-boggling, really mind-boggling. And we're going to give some context to how big that is. Is really huge. So incentive token there, $1.84 is down 5.9% right now on the incentive token, $1.84 there. Hex at the moment, just below 1.1 cents, is down 6.6% as well. And then we've got EHEX there holding up relatively well at 0.2 of a penny. And that's kind of the mark there. So that's day 830. We're about to get to day 831. Let's go to the gas prices. We're at 820,000 bits, so pretty low. We did have a little spike earlier. You can see that. We're at 1 cent for a PulseX swap right now. Going to the validators, we can see we're at 52,700 validators. So we're up, maybe 40, 50 validators there. That's kind of cool. And then the bridge, let's have a look at this. So the bridge here, $110.6 million. Not too bad. And I'm not going to go through all the breakdown of this because, I've got a little snapshot from about 12 days ago. But we're holding up pretty well. Let's just say that. We're holding up pretty well there. And not too bad at all. So I'm just looking at a look to see if there's anything particularly obvious. But no, things are looking not too bad. All right, so let's jump over to the PulseChain volumes. So we've got $24.7 million of volume right now on Dex Screener. This is the default view. And you can see at the moment we've got a couple of new tokens. Now, obviously, I'm not endorsing these tokens. You guys know I cover the markets every day. It's just a function of this. If they turn out to be, real rat bags, it's not my fault. It's just what is leading the board right now. So let's get into the mark. We've got Think token, Think Bigger. It's got a little electricity support, so it's getting a little paid support there. It's been around for 6 hours, so it's just the way it is. We're up 387% right now. This Think token. We're getting a lot of tokens coming from pump tires, right? So pump tires is kind of like the meme casino, right? You can launch actually other non-meme projects on there, but it's kind of like the meme casino. And essentially, if you think about Richard Hart, it's a product Richard Hart, and of course he's capturing a lot of value with the pump tires. And I don't know, is it going to push all that value back into PulseChain? Obviously, controlling certain suppliers. It's going to be interesting to see all that plays out behind the scenes. So it's got plays like that. So let's have a quick look at that. We've got Flappy right now is up 167%, been around for 17 hours, and that is out there. Flappy Peacock. So everyone playing on the Peacock theme there. We've got Briah. So Briah here, and we're going to talk about this, right? I think it's in the title of the video. I'm pretty sure. Let me go to the check. I'm trying to set up this other stream on the other computer here. But let's see how we go. We got Briah is on the comeback. It's on the comeback trail, and of course it was down. So we're going to talk about this. So let's go into Briah here. This is Rackham Rishel, and I'm pretty sure this is in the title of the video today. So I just got to check because I'm pretty sure I put Rackham Rishel's countdown on the map there. But we got pretty carried away with the old strategic ETH reserve. But I think that is in play. So let me just pull up the stream here. But let's auto log this. I don't know what's happening with this chart. It looks pretty bad. But let's go back here. So we had the chart. We had a huge pump, right? Huge pump. There's a pump tires. Rackham Rishel obviously got involved with this early because it's Briah. Briah is he just got married to Miss Rackham, I guess. And they went on honeymoon. They came back, and she's got a new puppy. So I don't know whether it was a romantic gift or whatever, but it's a damn cute puppy for sure. If you've seen some little video clips from Rackham Rishel and Miss Rackham, it is pretty cute. And so we had a big rally. We saw lots of promotions probably 4 or 5 days ago talking about Briah token. I call it Briah, but it's Briah token. So people talk Briah. The dog's name is actually Briah. We saw it on the video, but I call it Briah because it's got an I on it. I don't know. You guys decide. But anyway, so we got Briah token there. And of course Rackham said it's going to be. He's picked it up. He supported it. It's community. He didn't found it. He said, but he supported it. And of course it's his wife's dog, and it's a game on, right? So I believe the founder is Ace. So you can correct me if I'm wrong there in the chat there. I think it's Ace. Anyway, Briah there had a big rally, and of course it has come down here. We know it came down. So how high to get? It basically opened. It opened at quadruple 047. So let's say 4,700. There's 4 zeros, 4,700. It rallied all the way up to the top here, and it went to a high of 3,600 for a penny. So pretty awesome return, right? So pretty awesome, and it was game on, right? So out there, it was Rackham out there, and we can see that it made about 15x, right? 15x in 6 days. So pretty outstanding. Everyone was pretty excited about that. Rack 'em up, says Woogie. Rack 'em up, yeah. And I like that we did that. It was a nice play. And so then we obviously came down. We ended up coming out. Now, there has been a bot operating on this chart, right? So there's a bot operating. It's got a buy account and a sell account, and it has been on this account since about the 10th. So since about the 10th, we've had a bot buying and selling of this thing on the way down. So I don't know what its algorithm is or whatever, but it's been operating there as well. We also had a couple of big accounts, not a lot, but a couple of big accounts also selling down the chart here as well. So you can go and do your own, blockchain analysis. But that's what we've had, and it only took a couple of large holders to actually sell down the chart, like we've seen many times before. And so we came all the way down to this level here. So we came down 86%. So it was a pretty big retrace there. We saw a lot of comments on X, and that came down to 3 zeros, 4,900. So an 87% retrace, was it? So that was pretty big. Let me get it right here because I just forgotten what I just said. 86%, 86, 87% there. Now we just had a pump back. Look at that pump back come back. So we had a nice little pump back there. That started probably 4 o'clock, so probably about 8 hours ago. That pump has started. So that's on the daily chart there. And if you go to this range, so why have I got this range in here? This range was kind of based on a couple of different TA analysis here, the range that it would come back into. This is the most likely zone apart from complete capitulation. Now, we don't expect to completely capitulate because Rackham said he's going to be supporting it, and it's going to be on all his platforms. How many platforms? 5 or 6 platforms. So how he integrates that, he's indicated staking, potentially LP pools, and lots of other things in there. So we're going to keep a lookout for that as he gives us more info. But that's pretty much it. So really, it's a whale play, given his declarations. So that's kind of where we are right now. So it rallied pretty much over the last day. So let's have a look at the hourly chart here. And we can see that it pretty much came down all the way down to this candle here, 0004200. It has rallied all the way up just in the last 2 hours to 00093 or 9400. Almost lost a zero, right? Almost lost a zero there. So let's have a look at the measured move, and we can see from the bottom here to the top of this local move, it's 2.2x there. So if you picked up the bottom, congratulations to you guys. And of course, he wants this to be the most valuable meme coin on a PulseChain. And of course, it's only early days, right? So it's only early days. Not expecting it all happen tomorrow, but he's got a countdown, right? So let's go to the countdown for his protocols, and let's see where he's going here. So this yellow is the expected countdown, right? So he gave a disclosure or declaration that it was going to be 27 days that he was going to launch at least his first 2 protocols, Coinwell, I think, and Coinakia, I think, are expected. And he's got at least 5 or 6 protocols going to be launching, and they all look pretty damn good too, don't they? They all look pretty good. So let's have a look at the time frame there. 27 days, as you can see. That brings us to, of course, the 12th of September. So that is we expected to launch on or before that date. Obviously, launch dates, we're in crypto and corporates, they always have, 2 more weeks. But let's see if he can keep to that time frame. It was pretty definitive, right? It was a pretty hard date. So 12th of September approximately is when we're expecting that. Now, how many days we got to go to that? Well, we've got 23 days. So 3 weeks here. So what's this chart going to look like for Briah, or Briah, as Mr. Rackham calls it, is going to go up. So pretty cool. Let's see what happens with this chart. It's going to be fun to see. So that is a bit of coverage there. Now, I did want to bring up some of the comments there from Rackham recently. So let's bring that up. So we'll go to Rackham Rishel. And we can see that he's been pushing out some of these new logos, and they do look really good, guys. Honestly, they look really good. Look at that. It's very, very professional. And we need institutional professional players on PulseChain. Obviously, Rackham is a big VC. He's got big connections, and he's teased about Donald Trump Jr. and connections to the White House. So we could see a lot of cool things coming from him. He obviously has a big client list of investors. He was the #1 PulseChain and PulseX investor consortium on PulseChain, right? So pretty awesome. He's setting up a lot of these businesses. He's talked about back channels through to Richard Hart and having Richard Hart run the business. So he's had a few clues like that. But I really do like what he's doing here. It is pretty cool. Now, he's really He's really a CFI guy. He's right, got a kind of a corporate kind of feel to him. He's obviously he likes to control things. This is what these guys like to do, which is fine. But it's not the DeFi world, right? The DeFi world is there's lots of things happen in DeFi world, so just the way it goes. But that is the place. So expect him to do management on here. He's not going to let everybody on listing and all that sort of stuff. Don't expect that to happen, right? Because he's trying to bring in big capital money, potentially American money, Saudi money. Maybe even ties into the White House or the digital strategy. We will find out in due course. But we're very excited, and it's very professional, and we need entities like this on PulseChain. And of course, there is plenty of DeFi out there for people to play around with as well. So there we go. So kind of cool. He's also got that's Coinwell, and of course, he's also got CoinNaki teaser as well. So remember, he's got about 5 or 6 of these platforms, and this is the UI. And of course, it has dark mode, so we're going to look at that in a minute. But it's got wallet overview there. It's got portfolio, community, swap, and portfolio. Now, I'm really interested to see the community tab because we really don't have a really good community social site as far as I'm aware. If you guys let me know, I know there's a couple out there, but it's not really something that's really, really good in my view. They're all got kind of their pros and cons, but they're all kind of a bit niche. And it would be nice to get some bigger social community platform. Now, obviously, we've got different Telegrams and Discords and things like that, but it would be nice to have something that sort of blows up socially as a platform on PulseChain. So let us know in the chat there if you know any good ones that are out at the moment. Maybe I'm just unaware. Obviously, I cover PulseChain every day, but there's always a chance that I've missed something. And let us know in the chat, or maybe some of the ones that are existing that you think are kind of cool, but obviously not globally used by people in PulseChain or crypto. So let us know. But that is the come of stuff. It looks really good. Portfolio allocation, claim your profile. So people are going to claim profile. It's going to be very good for stickiness. In the community, we need a lot more of that in terms of investor stickiness. And of course, it's got top performer, worst performer, and also the assets in there. So it's kind of cool for the portfolio. Looking forward to seeing some of the other teasers there. Now, he did post under this, he posted dark mode. So this is dark mode because we all like dark mode there. It's kind of cool for UIs, less bright on the eyes as well. And so we've got the wallet overview there at 3.37 million on this here. It's the same thing, but all in dark mode there. Pretty cool. So I like that. Pretty badass. So looking really good there. And we've got lots of people commenting about it. Nice on that. So that is pretty cool. On the old Rackham Rishel. Now, he's also been doing lots of giveaways, so obviously gaining a lot more attention, building his followings, getting ready for these launches than, about 23 days away. So he's been doing lots of cool, and, he generally likes giving giveaways for the community, so it's really good to see the heart there. Coinwell promo video, looking pretty badass. Look at that, pretty awesome. And, of course, he's got the big promo company now, right, signed up. I think it's Coinbound, and these are professionals, and they're going to be sharing the word about the old Coinwell and all these platforms. So, where is it going to go? And, of course, Briah, how big will it get? He wants to be the biggest meme coin on PulseChain. So he's got the platforms to help do it and the networks. So it's going to be fun to see it all play out. So that's a little teaser. We're going to do a deep dive into this coming up, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Probably have a collab with get Wookie back on the show and probably work through these. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Now we've got Heartwood Dog in the house there. Good morning, everybody. Now, guys, you got to check out Heartwood Dog, man. That is crushing it on PulseChain. So that is Briah. Looks like we had a little bit of selling in there while we were talking about it. Don't tell me. Normally, influencers say, I pumped this coin while I was live streaming, but we've got a sell off here. So don't blame me. We take the credit for the upside, but not the downside. That's pretty much it. So that is kind of cool there for the Briah. We also got Brian right there right now. And Brian looking pretty good. So Brian there has been around for 9 days. That is up 40%. So it's still holding up pretty well there. And of course, look what we've got, guys. We've got Unity. Now I'm going to come back to Unity. Unity is at $12.25, up 39% today. We're going to talk about that, but we'll come back to that one. Number 8, we've got Pulse Guy. That is up 30% there. XVR. So Xavier University. And just like Briah was down, or Briah as they say, Xavier University from our big new influence of 480,000 followers. He's coming into PulseChain pretty big. You guys seen him around. He's in X-Spaces. He's really is excited about where PulseChain and crypto are going. And he's got a really growing Telegram there. And he's, it's going to take him, a little bit of time to convert a lot of his audience. He's an entertainer. And of course, 480,000 followers, but doing some cool things there. Looks like Xavier XVR is up 13%. So big shout out to him. We're probably think we're going to see a lot more from him. Really is doing some cool things there. Zencat right now, number 10, up 7.5%. Tom Lee, we've got good old Tom Lee there in a little emoji. We've got to have a look at that. So there's Tom Lee there. We've got a little picture and that is up as well, 7.5% there. Probably another pump tires come over. And then number 12 to wrap off is we got the Fitzgerald Company, and that's at 1.76%. So we don't have a lot of green coins today, but it is what it is, and everything else is down. So a lot of the majors are down. The Richard Altcoin core coins are down. The Dexes are down. The big My Magnificent 7 are down. We've got SolidX is holding not too bad, but that's down right now. So $12. We've got all of them are pretty much down. Sun Minimeal down. Sparta down. They're all down. Pump Tires down. Pippi down. Everything's down. And some of them were down more than others, right? So some of them down more than others. We had Zendog, right, came over. It's been on multiple chains. Zendog there, down 27%. Let's have a quick look at that one, shall we? And we got these other coins in the mix. So a lot of down day. It's a down day. Let's just say it. But we have a few standouts. The ones that were down, like Xavier University and Briah, are now the ones that are up. So you know how it works, ebbs and flows. So that's the mark there. And look at that. Woo! Zendog there is there as well. So that's been copied over from other chains there. Also, so that is the play on the old PulseChain, and it's going to be the end of our coverage for PulseChain. And I guess now we're going to get to Unity, which is it's actually not the end of the coverage because Unity is on PulseChain. My bad. I keep thinking Taurus. You know how it goes. Frank White says, "What is it?" I says, "I'll get membership soon. I'll get membership soon. My Google account being dumb," says Frank. Yeah, it's well, fortunately we've got new platforms launching. Fortunately about that. We've got Blair in the house there. Good, hi all. Good to see you, Blair. Big shout out. Welcome to chat there. Hey, we've got Real Xavier in the house there, guys. So Real Xavier now is technically our biggest KOL in the PulseChain. I guess if we put aside, a dedicated influencer, Ivan on Tech, who's a generalist, right? He's a general crypto guy, but does come in every time. If PulseChain pumps, he'll be back, right? He'll be back sort of guy. But Real Xavier here, 400,000 followers. Big shout out. Great to have you in the chat there. Appreciate the repost big time. And I think you guys should keep a lookout for Real Xavier. I think there's big things to come from him. And share him out, get engaged. It's a big time. So big awesome stuff. And he's a really nice guy. So look forward to more stuff from Xavier, I think, coming forward. Very, very exciting there. All right, so let's get into a Unity, shall we? Unity, baby. And look at this thing. It is on the move. So Unity, this is going to be pretty cool. Let me share my screen. Pretty helpful. And let's go for gold. Bam, bam, bam. Here we go. So Unity has just been launched 1 day and 6 hours and 33 minutes old. It's brand new on PulseChain, and it is a super successful launch. We saw about just under 2 weeks ago, I think we saw BetterBank launch. That is our latest big success, 21 million TVL, total value locked. Super successful launch there from Nikki and the team. And now we have Unity launching as well. So we've got a lot of big heavyweight protocols launching in August and September. It really is exciting in PulseChain. And these are really big juggernauts starting to launch, and at the right time, right place, right? So Unity is this launch that's been on Taurus. Taurus, of course, has been on Ethereum and Titanix. Now we have Unity on PulseChain, and it is taking in Pulse and PulseX, right? So, and burning PulseX in particular. Now, what you can do is here, you can come in and create Taurus. In other words, you're getting shares. You're really creating shares in the pool, and you get a share of the reward pool. So really, it's really this easy. So Taurus and Unity now on PulseChain are that simple. There's a reward pool and there's a share pool. And basically you can create shares or stake and get shares, and that gets you an access to the reward pool. It's that simple. That's at a high level, right? So we now have some cool user interface upgrades. We've got Power. And if you're not familiar with Power, if you haven't been on Titanix and things like that, then you can just use PulseX and put it in PulseX, right? So if you put in, let's say you put in how much is this? You put in 10 million PulseX. That's $371. That's in PulseX, or you can switch it over to Pulse and put Pulse in, right? It's going to do all the background swapping for you. And if you do PulseX, then it's going to be, let me just get rid of this zero, got 3,700. So I'm just doing it for the smaller investor. Obviously, the bigger the investor, obviously you can just put more in, but we're just doing for $371. So let's say you want to do a ladder. Maybe you had $3,000 to invest. You could just do 10 ladders or something like that. It's all sorts of things you can do in terms of strategy. But at the moment, 10 million PulseX, $371. That's going to give you created Unity. So what does it mean created? It means it's going to give you upfront. You're going to get upfront, but you don't get to claim it until the maturity date, right? So if you're going to do a length here, so you can put in the amount of PulseX, you put in your length. That's how easy it is. And then of course you'll be able to create, right? Be able to create that, connect your wallet, and be able to create that. Now you can also do NFTs now. So they're called Orb NFTs. So you can do that too. That's basically mean that you can transfer it between wallets and maybe participate in other third-party DeFi protocols, so like NFT markets and things like that. Who knows? Maybe lending and things. We'll find out. But we've got 10 million PulseX here. That will get you 100 tokens almost immediately. And then, of course, every day from the reward pool that we talked about, you will get a share of the 7,700. Now, that will go down over time because as more people go in, you will get less over time because more people are coming in. But that's a positive, generally speaking, because you're getting distribution of all the tokens. But and it may have an upward impact on prices, what we're expecting. But it's pretty exciting. So you're going to get pretty much 1/88th of that every day. And of course, that is basically, if you go to daily, toggle the daily here, it's 25,787% right now. But if you toggle the daily, it's about 300% a day. So every day you go through, you lock in those tokens. So you're locked in this earn token in addition to the created Unity that you get at the beginning. And then, of course, you get this. So day 0, you pretty much get the created Unity. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., all the way up to day 88, you get a share of the 7,700 Unity if you were to put this amount of PulseX in, which is about 300% a day. Now, as more people come in, of course, this daily ROI is going to go down. So you will lock in. So let's say day 5, you locked in 5 days worth of this the 7,700. Then, of course, more people come in big waves, then it will drop a bit, and so forth. So that's kind of basic idea. But you're still going to probably get a pretty awesome volume amount, especially being in earlier is always better, right? So that's kind of the play there. Now, also, you can go in and stake. And staking APR ROI, I should say, return on investment is currently 7,600%. You have to pay like a 5% fee to go in here, but it does give you optionality. You can early in stake at the 50%. And if you do go all the way to 75% of your term, so let's say you did 88 days, you went through 75% of that term, then you'd get 50% of your earned tourist back. So you still get your staked one on day 0, 100, but you'd also, you also here, in terms of this example, now here you're staking Unity. You're not, putting PulseX or Pulse in when you're staking, of course. Then you'd get the 7,700 tokens, and of course you'd get a bit of the share of that every single day. You'd lock that down every single day, and it will show you down on your active stakes, right, how much earned Unity. So you got your principal Unity, which is essentially the staked Unity, and of course then you're going to have your earned Unity, what you're earning over time. Now, if you come back to create, you can have different things on there as well. You can have your created Unity, which is your one you get on day 0 straight away. And then you get your earned Unity. You get a bit more every single day of that earned Unity, right? Which is that number there. You get a little bit divided by 88 days pretty much. So that's kind of the overview there. It's as everyone goes in, it's capturing all its value inside the buy and burn, which is absolutely staggering, right? It's absolutely staggering, guys. Let's add it all up, shall we? Let's add all this stuff up so that we can see how big it is. And we're only on day 2 now, 6 hours and 38 minutes. So we've only been going for just under, let's say, 31 hours. So it's not long at all. Let's add in the mark here. We got 49,000. We're just going to do rounding here, plus 176. This is in the buy and burn, and it's currently operating at 1%. So 1% of this total value a day. So the total value at the moment is 225,000. So it's running at 1% of that at the moment. The buy and burn. Buy and build, this builds up liquidity to make it a much more, mature, more fulsome project. And so you got another 30,000 in there. So we're going to add in 30, and then we've got another 151,000. So we've got Pulse and PulseX sitting in both sides of these, and we've got another 30,000 there. Plus we're going to add in the 151,000, and that gives us a total balance of $406,000. Amazing, right? It's captured already. And then we've got the fractal, and this gets called on day 110. And this amount of money, this amount of crypto, I should say, goes into the buy and burn on day 110. So it's kind of like a backstop there. And so let's add that up. We go plus another 19, and then we're going to add another 90, let's say 98,000 for the PulseX. So that gets us to $523,000 inside 31 hours. Oh my goodness, that's amazing, right? And of course, Pulse and PulseX have a rebound. That's all going to go up crazy, right? So we go up a 2x in like 2-3 days. That's all suddenly becomes $1 million, right? So it's very, very big turnaround there. And what an absolute star. That's day 1. It's unbelievable the amount of money that's gone in here. It is incredible. So we're on day 2 right now. So you're brand new early. Pretty awesome. Let's have a look at the stats. We've got 1.22 million is the current reward pool. Started off 100,000 yesterday, is now day 2, 99,920. And we now see that we've got this little burn Unity showing. This wasn't showing yesterday, of course. It just had a little blip late at night. It's now 203 Unity has already been burned with that 1% of that buy and burn, right? We got the liquid supply at 4,000, so that's going down. I expect that to continue to go down. We don't expect a lot of liquidity out for the first couple of weeks, particularly. And then we've got stake unity at 4,654, which is absolutely outstanding. That is really, really high. And then, of course, we've got supply in the LP pools for buying and selling, currently at 11,100. So very small supply. We started off with 20,000. We've now only got 19,796 unity in existence. Pretty crazy. We've already burnt 203, and stake unity 4,654. Amazing. But this is a number that I'm really keen to look at, and that is the shares. The shares is what we had. So we talked about there's a reward pool every day, right? It accumulates the reward pool. And then, of course, we're only expecting 8.5 million tokens out in the first 3 months. And then, of course, it goes down all the time at 0.8%. So this number here goes down by 0.08% every day. So the reward pool is it's growing, but it's growing at a decreasing rate, right? So it's kind of the play there. And there could only ever be 125 million tokens in existence altogether. But of course, a lot of those will get burned off, and of course, get sunk in third-party protocols and roadmap protocols of from cryptographics. So it's going to play. So yeah, almost a billion shares the first day, but we're seeing 908 million, and we're so far through that. So the shares, of course, the more shares there are, the more the rewards that get, they're growing at a decreasing rate. So the more shares there are, the more people come in. That gets those tourist tokens get distributed to more and more people, or at least more and more creations and stakers, right? So that's how it works there. Pretty cool. And so far, look at this number. 761 million PulseX has been burned within 31 hours. That is mind-boggling. Absolutely fantastic. And just to give you an idea, I think about if you're in the top, I think, just trying to remember, I think the top 1,500 wallets for the PulseChain, PulseX sacrifice, we're at about 1 billion PulseX. I think it was like that. So, we've almost burned off a top 1,500 wallet in PulseX, which is pretty amazing for that. And of course, we're currently at 7.62% of all PulseX has been bought up and burned. So this is going to add on to all of that buying and burning from the PulseX decks, and this is super exciting. And of course, on top of all the burnings that you also have all these new protocols launching. We had Better Bank coming. Of course, that uses PulseX and Pulse as well. That's a supply sync, and that's a 21 million TVL. So you can see all these big protocols like Unity, like Better Bank, adding supply syncs and buy and burns at unbelievable rates, really accelerating the bullishness for the whole Richard Heart core tokens. And of course, this is completely outside of Richard Heart, right? So this is very, very exciting there. Now, we don't think we have a dashboard yet, but we will get a June dashboard probably within a day or two, is my guess. So keep a lookout for that. We don't have one quite yet for Unity, but that is where we are right now. Now, we do have the day results, and this was kindly provided by Unity Official on X, and we can see that the day one results, so we just read the current results. We had 731 million burned. What are we at right now? 761. So we've already increased by 30 million PulseX have been burned since day one rolled over. And we got $500,000 in buying. We can already see that's gone up like by 30,000. And then the payout pool there was 1,150,000, $1.1 million. Of course, that's going to move around with the price. We can see that actually the price has gone up. So the value's gone to 1.22 million now, which is pretty awesome. 1 day ROI, 280%, all-time high, $11.42. Of course, that's been beaten out now too. We're going to check that. And of course, the 262,000 in the LP pool. So the LP pool thickening out really nice, which is part of the whole secret sauce of the project. Bye-bye PulseX supply. Yeah, it's burning off like a dream. Welcome to the AG Unity on PulseChain. So amazing there, snapshot there from the team. So awesome stuff. Let's jump over to the price, right? Woo! That is the price of Unity right now. So I'm going to post the link to Unity if you guys want to check it out. Get in. You're only on day 2. Do your due diligence as always. Now, this has had 4 audits. So we have I don't know. Do we have any? I don't know. Maybe there's 1 or 2 projects. We don't have many projects that have 4 audits. And this is amazing, right? 4 audits on Unity. Wow. So big shout out to Cryptographics, really crossing the T's and dotting the I's on this one. Absolutely amazing. That's Unity there as well. Now, we've got hundreds of people watching right now, so big shout out and welcome to everybody. I hope you guys are really enjoying the show. We have had an alpha drop show, and talking about Unity now is no different. This is one of the big juggernauts that is launching on PulseChain, and we're excited about where it's going to go. Now, this is a big, basically, you're mining, you're basically creating Unity shares for that reward pool, and excited about where this is going to go. And of course, we're at the beginning. If we get this bull run on as well, the price of Pulse and PulseX run, price of ETH runs, then who knows how big value this protocol will be. It's going to be absolutely ginormous. So very excited about that. So that's the protocol. Now, obviously, there's also Taurus. So we're going to talk about that. It's on the Ethereum chain. So that's kind of the play right now. And I'll post this post in the chat here as well if you want to check out official. This is Unity official as well. So we'll post that so you guys don't have to hunt around for them after I've done the live stream. So let's post that in there. Bam, there we go. So that is the link there to this one-day update, which is awesome. And then, of course, the price here right now. I will post that as well. This is Unity on Pulse. Now, you can double-check all the links, of course. It's always encouraged. So there we go. Bam, bam. Always check the contracts with the officials, right? That's always prudent risk management there. So check that out. That is the link. So bam, bam. There we go. Unity. Absolutely amazing. So we are expecting this to rally quite big. I have my own forecasts, but I don't want to say them on live stream because, you guys hold them to me. If you're in Discord, I talk about it. So jump into the strategy club, links in the video description. Only $35 a month to join up, and that's fantastic value. So I'm telling you what a lot of people will charge you thousands of dollars for, but we have it at a very modest price of $35 a month. So join up Strategy Club today. You get access to a monthly report. You get access to the Crypto Night Show Top 10 Index on PulseChain. You get access to regular daily updates. And of course, also lots of strategy chats in there as well. So well worth joining the Strategy Club today. Links in the video description. All right, very exciting. So at the moment, we got $12.22. The all-time high at the moment, $12.48. And I am expecting this to continue to decline and probably zigzag there. We have got very little supply out in the market. What's it about 19,700 tokens. And we probably won't have a lot of supply coming out for a little while. It will operate a little bit different, I think, than on Ethereum. Given how cheap PulseChain is, and we'll have a lot more laddering, I think, on the old PulseChain, and probably expect to have a lot higher engagement, generally speaking, because of all the influences and the roadshow that Cryptographics has been able to do. It's a pretty defined PulseChain community. Is pretty defined compared to Ethereum, let's say. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and nice little move up there. Look at that, fantastic. And we have been getting a big surprise to the upside, right, with the staking. Man, was it 4,600 tokens staking already? That is really, really amazing. So we've got a lot of probably short games, probably a lot more short game plays happening, a lot of medium games, and of course, in terms of the periods that people are going out, in terms of creating and staking, and of course, the long game is mathematically directed, right? So it's the idea, go long, you're going to get all the tokens, you get hit pretty quickly on volume, the shorter you go. So there is a lot of game theory, or as Jake Sharp would say, thick game theory. There's a lot of that in the house. So there we go. So that is kind of the play right now. We're going to keep a lookout for it. And we'll find out what the ratio is. I guess the ratio is probably somewhere on here. So obviously the ratio to PulseX is kind of the key when we flip over from creating to staking as being the better ROI, but we probably won't see that for some time, right? Probably we haven't seen that on the Taurus side for at least 40 days, and that may be day 47 or just after that, maybe day 50, 47, day 50 on Taurus, that we might see the flipping there to staking. It's going to be pretty interesting to see when that actually occurs. But here we are right now, 328,000 Unity per PulseX, I should say, per Unity, and we've had a high of 334,000 right now. So that's pretty cool. Now I want to bring up the Taurus chart, and we'll see whether I haven't really thought about this, so we're gonna have to go in here and go to Titanex, and we're gonna bring up the Taurus chart. You got to remember that Titanex is on the down at the moment too, over on Ethereum. So this is Ethereum chart. It's the same protocol, but on Ethereum, and they're using Titanex rather than Pulse or PulseX. And you can see that the price there down $5.70, and we are coming up to day 47, which is we've got our next big jump in inflation. It's like a step jump, and it's about 12,000 tokens. So it's going to definitely have an impact. We're going to see the behavior there. And at the moment, the Titanex ratio, you can see, is just above this 10 million Titanex per Taurus. So that is the mark there right now, 10 million. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. I haven't heard what I don't have Cryptographics in the chat there, what the ratio is to Unity. I think it would be 100,000. I think it's 100,000 down here, but he can let us know. I think it probably is around here. I'm not going to put that there at the time being. Actually, where's my ruler? But it's probably down here somewhere is my guess. So we'll find it out. But I think it's probably 100,000. I'll leave it there until we get any confirmation there. What's it? Tall us, says Woogie. I'm not sure what that means, Woogie. I'm not sure. We've got a great bunch of people watching right now. Big appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash the follow button on X. And of course, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We're streaming to 3 YouTube channels. and we've got many hundreds of people watching right now, so it's really great to have you all here, and I really do appreciate the support. Now, if you love daily crypto shows, and of course the PulseChain, we cover PulseChain, we cover Titanx, we cover we're going to be covering X1 chain when it launches. That's going to be a full fork of Solana with all the latest technology and bells and whistles. That's coming up very soon. We expect that in September from Jack Levin. And of course, he was in Google employee number 21 there. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out, but that's coming up as well. We've got XDEX as well. In fact, I probably should talk about some of that coming up. How about we do that tomorrow? I'm going to bring up X1 and XDEX and show you some of how the ecosystem's playing out. Now, we do have a tentative launch date for September with a backstop launch date for November. So, we'll see. We've had 3 launch dates at least in the past. So, but this one looks like it might very well be real given the cycle where we are right now. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But at the moment, this is Unity, and not looking pretty awesome, right? Looking pretty good. Now we're going to go to Taurus quickly. Taurus at the moment sitting at 27.84 million. But of course, as you guys see on the link here, I've got the days coming up for the step jump in the expected inflation there. So we're on day 41, I think, at the moment. So that would take us into, I think, the 26th of August. That's when we're getting a big supply jump of about 12,000. We're getting a couple of thousand sort of every day leading up to that. Maybe a couple hundreds on some days, but largely we're going to get a big step day on this one. So keep a lookout for that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. What will happen to this ratio? Let's go to Taurus. Let's bring up the website and how we're doing for time. And we're doing for time, an hour and 20 minutes. Not bad, not bad. We probably couldn't keep going for another 10 minutes here. So let's enter the DApp here on Taurus. This is on the Ethereum side. So obviously Unity's on PulseChain. And of course, PulseChain is a full system state copy of Ethereum based on the 10th of May, 2023. So over 830 days ago, about 833 days, about that. Yeah, we've got the price there and there at the moment. Let's look at some of the key stats. We've got the payout pool is obviously, we can see what the payout pool is going to be on PulseChain with Unity in 41 days because it's 96,997. And we can see that given the price is $5.70, we've got a reward pool today of $552,000. But here's some really exciting stuff here. We got 1,675 tokens in liquid supply, so it's still very small. Still very small. So how will day 47 affect it? That's 12,000 tokens or so coming out, plus the days before it with several hundred and thousands there. It's going to be pretty interesting, but day 47, definitely a big move there. What else we got going? We got Taurus supply, 22,396. So remember, we started off 41 days ago at 20,000, and we're only sitting at 22,396 after 41 days. It's quite mind-blowing, really. But we do have a step up in another 6 days or so. So let's see how that plays out as well. We do expect the market to adjust. Burnt Taurus 9,471. It is mind-boggling. Look at that. So it's really burned a lot of Taurus right now, and we had 5,600 Taurus staked. But think about how many Taurus we've had staked on Unity on PulseChain. It's already 4,600, I think, was the mark, and that's huge. That's huge. So Taurus Unity on PulseChain is absolutely off to the races. Really amazing. It is crazy good. Now we had over 700 million shares, I should say, on Unity in day one. We got 3.33 billion here over on Ethereum right now. So you can see that I think I remember there being something like 300 million shares, something like that on day one. So I think we're at like 700. So, it's just over 2x as far as I remember. Maybe it was even lower. Maybe it was 250, but it was somewhere down that part. I'd have to go. I've got it on live stream, so you can go back, watch my live stream covering Taurus on day one. So go back and check that on the YouTube channels. Yeah, I might do that myself today just to see. But that is, super, super good. So both of them doing extremely well. And the burn Titanx, 224 billion Titanx burned. And of course, we saw a massive amount of, PulseX burns, over 700 million there. 700 million. So pretty awesome. All right, so that is kind of the play right now. What else can we say about that? I think that's it. So that is Taurus. And of course, you can check all that out too. Did I post you the Taurus one? Maybe you want to check out Taurus too. So this is Taurus. I'll post the link to that. Bam. And you always check the links, but that is the link for us right now. And let's put that out. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. I like saying bam because it's fun. I don't know. I've probably said too much, but that's the way it goes. And that is the Taurus chart, and you can check that out too. And bam, there we go. Some my own sound effects. Bam. I've watched too much Flintstones as a kid. I guess I bet. So that is the link there to the deck screener. Bam. All right, last time. That was the last time. So we're having a good time. It's a really magical day, and Well done to Graphics. He launched this, and what an incredible job he's done. It's pretty amazing there. So definitely check it out. Unity is on a PulseChain, and of course the Taurus is the same protocol, but it's on Ethereum, and it uses different tokens, right? So it uses ETH and Titanx on the Unity. Sorry, on Taurus on Ethereum, whereas Unity uses Pulse and PulseX on PulseChain. So two different chains. Just take note of that, and you have to bridge over funds back and forth to those. And there's lots of different on-ramps to do that now, which is pretty cool. All right, so I think that's where we are right now on the old Unity. Pretty amazing. We got hundreds and hundreds of people watching right now, so I really appreciate your support, guys. It really is awesome. Crypto bull market is on an inflection point. We really are getting ready for that big run into the end of the year and into the new year, 2026. Looking pretty amazing. It is going to be exciting. So yeah, we covered a lot of stuff today. We covered the strategic ETH reserves. We covered the buy zone where Tom Lee was looking at buying, which is quite right where we are now with the Ethereum price, between 4,000 and 4,150. We've got major entities coming into Ethereum, buying up all the supply. The exchanges are running out of Ethereum. And of course, we will get these little ebbs and flows in the prices, but it's only up and to the right towards the end of the year. So it's going to be really exciting. We've obviously also getting PulseChain starting to ramp up. We've got Rackham, Rishel out there. We've got Firewhale. They are bringing their protocols in September. So we're getting the big whale protocols in September. We're also getting the world's best peer-to-peer dev, Jacob, launching his protocols on Chain Bet. And of course, that's going to be, basically a competitor. Really, it's got different offerings in a sense, but it's going to be kind of in the same category, let's say, as SolidX or Firewhale's, X game. And of course, we're super excited about that. And of course, we're obviously going to have Rackham Rishel's maybe 5-6 platforms launch over maybe 2-3 months. We'll see how fast he does it, but certainly expecting at least Coinwell, I think, and Coinarchy, if I remember rightly, launching within September. So we've got some big juggernauts in August here. We had BitBank, we've got Unity now, and we've got a couple others that are out there that are going to be launching this month as well. And then, of course, we've got big projects launching in September. So it's going to be unrelenting. It's going to be really awesome. And, of course, maybe in less than a week, we've got Richard Hart's promotion starting, the founder of PulseChain, of course, and also the founder of Hex, one of the top 5 performing tokens in the last bull market. And he's about to unleash hundreds of thousands and millions of electronic devices over the weeks ahead onto the US and around the world. So there's a lot to be excited about. We see that we're getting more social platforms, more X spaces, more YouTubers coming back, streaming more. We're getting so many bullish fundamentals. It really is exciting. And what I might do is also start to lay out some of those things moving ahead. So really exciting. If you enjoyed today's content, it's an hour and 27 minutes. We've had a great show. I've enjoyed talking about all these bullishness things, giving you guys lots of insights into some of these trends that's going on, both from crypto and in PulseChain and Titanx. Been pretty awesome, and I can't wait to talk about X1 coming up when that launches. I know that's going to be a fun ride as well. So yeah, really cool. We got Christine in the house there. Hey, Suitman. Good to see Christine as always. And once again, a special thanks to Real Xavier for reposting the stream. Big shout out to him. Does an amazing job. He's an entertainer on X and posts some really funny stuff. So you've got to go check him out. And now moving into a bit of crypto as well, which is pretty cool. Check out his XVR token on the old PulseChain. We got Heartwood Dog in the house. Really the anime series on PulseChain, Pulse of the Fallen. And it really is synonymous now with PulseChain. And the chapters honestly get better and better. And really excited to see. We've seen sneak peeks of chapter 12, chapter 14. It is really cool stuff, and of course featured there in the weekly monster thread. Frank White, of course, also covering PLS Start. So if you want a whole PulseChain ecosystem, he's the man to see. He's covering that right now. Pretty awesome. So appreciate that. In fact, I might pull that up so people can check that out. PLS Start. If you want to work out what's going on in PulseChain, he's got a whole map of all the protocols, and you can find ways of onboarding and all sorts of stuff in there. Pretty exciting. So let's check that out. So that's kind of cool from him. Who else we got in the chat here? I saw earlier Cryptographics, of course, the founder of Unity himself, and of course Taurus. Big shout out to him. Congratulations. Absolutely outstanding day one results. Really cool. So we've got lots of cool founders and people in the house today. That there is the link to the PulseChain ecosystem from Frank White. So nice. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Smash the like button, share the channel around, and if you're on X, of course, don't smash the follow. And if you want to join Discord, the links in the in the video descriptions on YouTube, and also on the header profile header there on X and join up to Discord today. Like I say, a really great value strategy club, only $35 a month. Fantastic. You got to get on there, and I give a full report every month. It's pretty comprehensive, guys, with all the insights. So you definitely want to check out that. And I also obviously give a lot of intel I don't do on live stream. So get in there, folks, and I'll see you there. We've got an awesome community of 1,100 people there. It really is a great place. And we've got Wookie in the house there. He's in the old Discord there too, Strategy Club, and he's just posted his link there, so you can use his link as well. Also, so awesome stuff. All right, an hour and 30 minutes. It's been a great show. Get out there, folks. Enjoy yourself, and bring on the bull market. Like I say, maybe a week to 4 weeks to go, and it really is going to be takeoff time. The windows are closing for accumulation, so good times ahead. And we'll be talking about some other topics coming up in the next days ahead. Probably X1, Rackham Rishel's projects, having a deep dive with that, probably with Wookie, and many other topics coming up. So hope you guys enjoy it. Take care, everybody. I think we might hear from Richard Hart before we go, because we might just see a God mode candle, couldn't we? Maybe around the promotions, we just might see one. So let's see what happens there.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment, because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.
And that's true, right? So we could see that very, very soon. And we've seen a little teaser of that earlier in the week. So it could be pretty amazing where we are. In fact, I might actually bring, let's see if I've got the stream in here. But I might actually play this video on the way out. So let me see if I can add this in as a little treat at the end of the show, because it's pretty awesome. So let's see. Actually, that's the wrong one. So let me bring this in. And let's see if we can play this. Hey, look, we've got hundreds and hundreds of people watching right now. It really is great to have you all on the show. And hope you guys, if you want to come back for more daily content, you want to learn about crypto, want to learn about PulseChain and all that good stuff, it's a perfect channel, right? We cover it all: stock market, crypto, PulseChain, Titanx, everything else. Get in here, folks. It really is amazing content. And of course, we're living and breathing it. We're sharing the journey. It is a pretty special place to be. So kind of cool. Now, I'm just trying to find this little video before we end the live stream. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I've deleted it, but we'll see if I can. I don't see it here. Straight off the bat. Yeah, I don't think it's here. I might have to get reloaded again, but we might do that in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Take care, everybody, and I will catch you on the next one. Until then, bye for now, and have a great day. That's all I can say. All right, let's go. Peace out.